Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Season 2, dude. This is going to be sick. Hey, I'm Dylan Carlson, and in studio with me virtually is none other than my good friend Josh, and this is the Weekly Review, a podcast where we go through and watch everybody's edit submissions throughout the week, provide our feedback, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, to try to elevate the lowest level of bar for editors around the world. So, Josh, how's it going, man?
I'm great. It's great to be back. It's been a little bit, since we were together, just hanging out. Um, so yeah, no, I'm excited. A lot of stuff going on, but
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back into it. I had a break from this, and I missed it, so I feel refreshed and ready to get back into it.
100%, man, dude. If it does feel really good to be back. Like I'm so excited, man. It's been a long time since both you and I have actually like sat down and watched some content. So for me, this is it's good, and I'm sure all of our fans that we had garnered throughout the first season of this show are, well, I mean, we saw it. People were really excited about this show coming back when I announced at the end of January, and it's just kind of like a lot of stuff going on with SIRL and whatnot. So for me, like, just trying to get some stuff off my plate before I committed to streaming again. But dude, like I said, it feels so good to be back. I know, this show can only get better from here, and honestly, like the whole premise of this, I think really people really enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Super laid back, but given shining a light on something that a lot of people even playing the game don't even know that's out there. And I
Mhm.
think it's super cool to see the creativity and stuff, float around. So
Well, absolutely. Like this is really, when we kind of came up with the idea for this show, it was just kind of it all stemmed from you and I just hanging out in Discord, and then it evolved into like, man, what if we did this weekly and we left feedback on all of these unsuspecting victims on YouTube and and,
yeah.
and tried to like, make edits better and help people learn new techniques and try different things, or do like, I don't even know, like kind of step out of their box. And from there, dude, we had like really great guests on the show, like Seabig, Sword, Murray, who else? Oh, Murray's in chat. Hey, what's up, Murray? Pax,
Wait,
dude.
yeah.
Like we had a lot of really cool people that were able to provide even more perspective than what we have. Which, I mean, I've done edits for a little while, but you're just kind of an enjoyer of the content, so like having another set of eyes on this stuff, man, it's incredible. But hey, we won't waste your time with this kind of intro and whatnot. Let's get right into the show. So,
Let's do it.
all right. So the first one that we have, hold this up. All right, the first one comes from, well, none other than the oh gosh, what is it called? Reshade God himself, Pax. So, and a lot of these tonight, before we started the show, like we talked about it, like a lot of insta bangers tonight. So, um, this is gonna be it's gonna be short and sweet, and maybe we'll dive in and watch year one if we've got time at the end.
Yeah, honestly, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
Winning has always been in his DNA.
I got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Um. Wow. I mean, way to start it off with a bang. Like this is like on par. This is what we expect out of PAX, right? This is
Yeah, for
incredible.
sure.
Oh, hold on, my dog's about to bark off the chain. So go ahead and provide your feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just first off the rip, incredible start. I was locked in the whole time. Um, I know it's insta banger, whatever. Not my my cup of tea. I typically like to enjoy it a little bit longer. But no, this was incredible. It honestly kind of sounded like, or it felt like a commercial, like you would see it in between, Supercross breaks. It was that good, and it's MX bikes, right? Transitions were great. Yeah, it's fast, but it looks good. Nothing looked weird or out of place. It was incredibly enjoyable throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I mean, like this is what we've known to and come to expect from PAX. I think one thing that he really did, and we've kind of seen it throughout like the last couple of months with him, is he's really starting to push his own limits. I feel like as an editor, Pax has kind of been locked in with his own style for so long, and now we're starting to see him step out of his own box. And it like
Okay, yeah.
if this is where he's at now, um, and like exploring new techniques and all that other stuff, man, dude, he's gonna be pumping out some incredible stuff. Um, one, he does a lot of the Instabanger stuff, so it's these short form
Mhm.
content. And I would like to see just a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he put out that large project. I think it's called Synergy with a bunch of no namers guys or
Yes,
Valor
yes.
guys, and it was super well produced. Like I loved it. It was well put together, well thought out. All of the angles, all the shots were super super high quality. And now it really seems like one thing that I noticed off the rip is he's starting to really focus in on his depth of field. And it's going to be really hard for a lot of people to see this just off of the first like glance. But you can see here down in this like left hand corner.
Mhm.
So that's how an f-stop would work in or depth of field would work on a real camera. Like stuff that's really close to the screen or really close to the lens is going to be blurry. Same with stuff in the background. But now you can see that this rider is out of frame, and I mean, it kind of comes back in. I think that was a little rushed here because we're missing a lot of that information where that rider actually comes into focus. Um,
Not as crisp as what you're saying on the rider right there
yeah,
in that shot. Okay.
yeah. Well, and it's even like further away, right? You can see like the
Yeah.
rider itself is a little out of focus, and then the
Mm.
background is completely in focus. So maybe that's just the way that he had it set up. But again, like I can tell from this that he's really pushing the boundaries of what Reshade can do and how edits are produced for this game. Um,
Yeah.
Other than that, like I mean, these shots are solid. Like these look really good throughout here. I love the angles. I love the transitions. It's very much a hype video, and I think he nailed it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely knocked it out of the park. And yeah, no, it was great. I what I did like too, I love transitions. I kind of like gimmicky stuff, not too much, but he had that like VHS kind of filter on that. That
Mm,
was kind of a neat,
yeah,
kind of flair,
the
little
overlay
interesting thing to look at. Yep, and
with
just
the
stuff like that. But it was tastefully done.
right, right. No, it was really well done, really well put together. I mean, like, if this is how season 2 is gonna go, I mean, the level of packs, like, I don't expect everybody to be on that. Like, this guy's really good at what he does. So, awesome job. Definitely will get a like from me on this one. All right. So we got the next one. Looks like he's a fairly new editor. Ski. He's got 13 subscribers. This one's called Arrow
Okay.
115. So I'm guessing it's a rider feature. I don't know. Let's check it out.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. Yeah, the magician's assistant in their dream. Oh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
All
I
right.
think this kind of embodies what we are doing this show for.
Mhm.
I think, in my opinion. Um,
Oh, 100%.
Not to run over you, but I will say, just just to start off, I like the idea. He knows what he wants to do,
Mhm.
right? That is apparent. I just think he needs to sharpen his tools and get a just basically probably just put laps down and get repetition done.
Mhm.
Because obviously there's a thought there, there's vision, and he's getting stuff close, right? But I think if he just, and this is just a biased opinion, if
Mhm.
he takes, some pointers from you, who's, done this quite a bit,
Mhm.
I think this could be a next, top tier editor that, we could see coming back and making some really cool content. So
Yeah,
I definitely see
100%.
the vision here.
No, I agree. I really I don't want to harp on this guy too much, but I just want to see like how much content he's put out. Oh wow. Okay, so like it's Warzone. Oh God. All right. So he's put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, he's got a lot actually. So he's put out 7 pieces of content. For this being his 7th one or 5th one to date, yeah, I mean, we all start somewhere, right? Like
Mhm.
this is really, just him getting into editing, starting to be creative. One thing that really stood out to me, and it's pretty apparent across a lot of these shots, is the camera work. And that is
Yeah.
the biggest thing that you can focus on as a brand new editor is getting your camera work dialed in will like reshade all of this other stuff that's extra that really elevates that content can be kind of pushed into the background if your camera work is smooth and you whether that's if it's not smooth off the jump, but we kind of saw it throughout this edit. Like there's a lot of shots where okay, there was one in particular where you just see how like jittery the camera is. Like that.
Yep. That was a
That
good shot right there. Yep.
like we see that camera like drop down because he's trying to keep the rider in focus, and it looks like he does have depth of field on, but it's not working correctly because you see in the background like the moto playground stuff, whatever this
Mhm.
is over here. I think this is on Baja Brawl, I'm not 100% sure, or Spring a Ding. Like this stuff is blurred out, but it like I don't know what these hash marks are and why it's doing that. So I think he's biting off more than he can chew at the front end. But as a new editor, smooth out your camera work. Try to be as light on the sticks as possible. And then I have it mapped to my controller where I can turn down the speed of my camera. So, or like the camera movement speed, right? So as you're developing that skill set and making sure that you have, solid control of your camera, you can start to ramp that speed up, and that's where you'll see guys that have like C-Biggs does this really well, where he has the violent camera movement, and you get like that real camera shake effect.
Mhm.
That comes from having a high rate of camera movement. But when you're first learning, slow that stuff down and work on nice, smooth, consistent shots all the way through. Either whether it's right to left, forward, back, up, down, what have you. Like then you can start to combine like camera tilt, camera pan, dolly in, dolly out to really elevate your game and forget about all the reshade and the stuff in the background that makes it look pretty. But as a guy that's put out 7 pieces of content, he's got the right idea. I think one thing that we really don't talk about a lot, and I know that you're a huge proponent of this now, but like syncing the footage to a song.
Yeah.
and I think he might have missed the mark on this. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but having consistent footage and transitioning with the song will help keep the viewer engaged and help push the edit along. Because this is only 46 seconds long, and I kind of anticipated what the camera work was going to be like 15 seconds into it. So keep it up, man. Like, this is a great way to start, but one thing to really focus on would be the camera work. Everything else, like, you have the vision, you've got the ideas, your overlays and stuff. Like, he's got little lens flare stuff in here, and maybe just working on dialing in that reshade just a little bit to try to help make it a little bit easier. But yeah, focus on camera work, and I'm sure we'll see way better content out of him in the future. Any final thoughts?
Oh yeah, no, just to piggyback what you're saying. Get a good foundation. He obviously has the ideas, and he knows what he wants to do. He just needs to clean it up a little bit, and it'll all come together really quickly, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, and one thing that I did notice is, like, if we look at the front end of this edit, I harp on it a lot, but like bikes on stands,
Mhm.
he was really good about progressing through the shots of like rider, like showing off the kit and whatnot. I mean, we are that one was a little long. So 13 seconds in, and we're beyond the point of showing off the kit, whatnot. So good on him. He could probably reduce it even more if he wanted to. I like to keep the like the kit and everything really short at the front because it can get a little stagnant. But no, he's got the right idea. All right, good job, man.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Okay, this one is from Toiletries. It's called Trojan.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look.
Don't let them take you from it. Wait, I've been up touring state 45 off a safe. At the top, it's my place. You and I, different weight. Always know when you play. I could never tell you, wait. Made me tired at the late. Lavish life, type of state. Losing time when you pace. What we can do if you waste. I know the sky's been in a haze. You never been through this phase. Living fire, living fake. Know you try, but it's late. I run the lobby every summer. Buy a body, two-step a stutter. Platinum around my wrist, blur, chirp like I'm stunner. Logo around the disc, while the DJ sit cut up. Flashes from the pics in my sections while I'm fucked up. Bad bitch, I've been waiting to get widowed, I don't nut up. Yeah, nut up, man, that shit is trouble. I've been hitting licks, seeing splits, doing double. No, it's no events, check my temp, watch it bubble.
Yeah, not bad at all. I love the intro, just little tricks and stuff like that, I really appreciate.
Yeah.
It shows thought and a little bit extra kind of deeper thinking of what you want to do with your project. I think the thing that really stood out to me is the lack of depth of field. And I think if that would have been fixed, that would have been a lot more like solid in my opinion. There's a couple shots with like the trees and the grass and stuff that it got a little much for me. And that could just be me, you know what I mean?
This right here.
Yeah. Yep. And then there's a shot where it's panning across. Yeah, right here. This was really busy for me. And with how well this is shot, that it goes to show, depth of field is a huge tool that you should use. Not saying that this is bad by any means. But just reviewing all this stuff, it really does make a difference.
Oh, 100%, man. Like, I think that was the first thing I noticed, and I noticed it right away. This intro is really cool. I always love to see guys putting pieces of content together that are um, beyond just a bike on a stand. C-Bigs does this. Sword has done this. I've done it in the past. Like really high level editors, they'll use, and this is just like it's like a stock footage thing or some shit. I can't remember, but like this is just a green screen, and he does a really good job of like, see, well, there's not a lot of motion in this shot. It's just kind of stagnant, which makes things easier. But it adds a level of depth that you wouldn't otherwise get from a MX Bikes edit. I like the black and white. This is obviously like showcasing a team. I liked this, but here's the reason why I like this. I didn't think that this fit at all.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah. Yeah, the transition itself, cool as shit. But like because I guess we think of themes, right? Like where does the crossword part of this fit into an MX Bikes edit, right? You know?
Right. And again,
I guess I look for meaning where there probably shouldn't be, because he probably just thought this was a cool transition, which I agree. It is.
But here's the thing that actually got me excited about it. And normally I wouldn't play the audio again, but here we're just gonna go through it.
At the top, it's my place.
You get the paper ripping sound effect. So he's doing sound design, and it's starting to really get into the nitty gritty stuff.
I missed that the first playthrough, so yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's great.
Yeah, so that to me is like, okay, he's taking the extra time to actually do the sound design for this project, and it's not a just the transition. Because if this was the transition itself with no sound effects behind it, I would be like, why? It's cool. I understand why he put it in there, because he thought it was cool and it looks sweet. I've done paper transitions, stuff like that. PAX has done them and they've been really well. But he did add that extra layer of the sound design element to it. So props to him for that. But you touched on it already. Like the color grading is super solid for this reshade. Like it's crisp. It's a little dark, little underexposed for my liking, but the only reason I say that is because the depth of field is not there. Like we lose the rider in these trees almost immediate. So depth of field, I mean, for somebody like Toiletries, like this is really well shot, and I just kind of missed the depth of field aspect, and it started off rip with this shot here. Like this is a close up. Like MX Bikes is what it is when it comes to textures. Like this looks really bad in my opinion. And when you have a really tight shot like this, you can amplify that blur factor, right? So like the f-stop and the aperture number, all of that stuff, like that's gonna help you grow this to make that almost like large bokeh effect. There's like I've seen people overdo it, and I think C talked about that on his episode last season, but this tight of a shot, dude, really maximize that blur. Like get it so the rider is in focus. But other than that, yeah, like you touched on it, the shots are really well put together. Transitions make sense. I did like that he had a little bit of visual flair here and there. Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, is this going to be a reoccurring theme again for this season? No
it might
fucking
be,
bike sounds. No, dude, it's a dirt bike edit. Put fucking dirt bike sounds in it. How goddamn hard is it? It can't be that fucking hard. Like, I get bike sounds like shit in stock form, but dude, throw a fucking a sound mod on, or take the time to put like overlay sound from real footage. I don't know.
Just a quick couple, it doesn't need to be crazy, but yeah, I agree. That's part of the reason why we like dirt bikes, right? We like what they fucking sound like. So
right.
100% agree.
Yeah. Like that was, aside from the depth of field, that was my one big takeaway. I like that he's doing sound effects. Like that's a whole nother level to editing that a lot of guys miss out on. and I've started doing a lot of that. But yeah. All right. On to the next one. All right, so this guy, he's pretty new. I think he's only got 27 subscribers. Minute 30, Free Rio.
Okay.
It's a Wayne beat. Oh, it's Blue Strip, baby.
Ghetto boys, money is not everything. Ghetto free is what y'all asked for, right? It's my turn now. I let y'all do what y'all had to do, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Just think about it, though. Ghetto. Pulled a Maybach to the Greyhound, it's my first day out. He used to be the brick man, he doing burpees now. I ain't never cooked the dope, C learned me how I wake up and go get me some chicken like Thursday Child. It been a long time coming, it was quick though. 60 months in the feds, it wasn't shit though. Louis Tim's cost a whole pint of Trish O's. Rose truck at the airport, I got a dip, bro. I got a bunch of shit to do, it's gonna be quick though. I gotta jump on my little, I'm trying to hit roll. We got a whole pint pole, we don't sip foes. I went to jail with tight clothes, now it's big clothes. I had a 40-year-old man calling me big bro. $500,000 in deposits, that's for 6 shows. Still on the same, bro, keep squeezing till the clip gone. C got an 8, I got an 8, that's a brick pole. I drunk 100 pints in jail, you can ask Sosa. They ain't never find my phone, I hit it in the lotion. In a drop head ghost, the ceiling by the groceries. Made back $2, I'm putting armor on it. One day I did some bullshit, I know my karma coming. My cousin did some bullshit, now he not my cousin. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, okay. Trying to gather my thoughts here. Not my taste. I didn't hate it. I think it was just I could see it was just a fun thing to make. And
Yep.
I mean that in the nicest way possible. I'm not in any way trying to be critical. But I don't think
Well,
it
this
was
is a
one of those
review
things
show
where
where you should be critical. Like,
I
he didn't submit it, so we can't, really dive into
yeah,
it. But yeah.
right. It wasn't subject to like picking apart.
Right.
But
Right.
I going back to not everything needs to be
Mm-hmm.
handcrafted, and meticulously planned and all of that. And I think that's what this is. I think he just wanted to make something cool, put some music to it, and get it out there, which was extremely evident at the end where everything just fucking stopped. So,
Right. Right.
um, there is obvious, if we want to get super technical, depth of field. I think that this is super bright.
Yes.
Just as a casual viewer, I like his little logo. There's some level of care that we
Mhm.
can see popping up. There's some cool shots. There's also some lazy shots, so take that with what you will. And just personally, not my favorite music, so I don't know if I would just casually watch this. It didn't, not that I hate the music itself, but it didn't make sense for an MX Bikes edit, if that's fair to say.
Yeah. I can dive in a little bit deeper on this. I'm not going to spend too much time on everything, but one thing that really stood out to me, and it's a pitfall for new editors, is the snap zoom. And
Yeah.
oh man, when they use it a lot. It's corny. If you overdo it, it looks really cheesy. But I agree. I think this is way too bright. No depth of field. Like it's camera work. Camera work seemed lazy, so I think he was just trying to put out something fun. I'm not gonna dive too deep into it. But I will say, like, the music was very much like moody, and it didn't fit the vibe of the footage. The footage was really bright, so hearing a song like this, I would expect to see something a little bit darker, a little less overt, in my opinion. But again,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's pretty new to the game as far as editing is concerned. I'm not gonna rag on him too much. One thing that I did notice is it looked like there was a lot of almost like track cams, which don't use those ever in an edit. Yeah. But again, he did not submit this for review, so I'm not gonna harp on him too much. If he wants to make content, dude. Like if you're just having fun, have fun. Like there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to do this. So, all right. We'll move on. Oh, our good old boy Kleb. I didn't even know
Kleb.
that he was still making stuff. I heard there might have been some drama revolving around this guy. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like lag switches or something. Like for real.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
No kidding.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I mean, he's still making bikes content, so let's check it out. Great song.
Love it. Ah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Not bad. It's what I've come to expect from Kleb, you know.
Mhm.
I think it's kind of neat to say that, you know, he's kind of found his own style.
Mhm.
You know, like I think I mean if you get versed enough in this little niche corner of a niche game
Mhm.
that you can pick out, you know, if you have a lineup of edits, you can definitely say, hey, that's a Kleb edit, you know.
Mhm.
He has little nuances of how he does stuff, you know. His reshade's good, depth of field, you know, he knows what he wants to do and he does it well, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no,
So,
like I agree. Like this was cut and dry Kleb edit. I didn't see anything that stuck out to me as like, oh, this needs improvement. I love that he has bike sounds. I definitely he learned from last season where all we did was harp on him for bike sounds each week.
yeah.
I think this is really well shot. I dial in his reshade a little bit more so it's not completely blown out in some of these shots, but again, I don't want to harp on him too much. Like this seemed like a Kleb edit. Um it's all there. It's the complete package. For me it was just a little long. 10 seconds of Kit and Ryder, but you know, is what it is. Like it's 10 seconds out of a minute and 4. So like take that grain of salt. I thought the music was good, except for the ending. It just kind of fell flat on its face. Like there was no like resolution, and you heard the next verse of the song come back in, so maybe he could tidy that up just
Yeah.
just a little bit. Like I understand, you know, that's being really nitpicky. But trying to end on a like resolution portion of the song, not where it comes back in. You hear,
Yeah, starting a new verse or exactly, yeah.
yeah, and it's really so hard to do that with rock music, like especially with a high energy song like this. I thought the song fit really well with this edit, just in general. But then, you know, you get at the end of that. Oh, and this is why I hate doing edits on ARL tracks. Burp, burp.
Yeah.
Love
And
JV.
there's no way to get rid of that.
Dude, he does such a great job with these tracks, and I know that we have to pay for them, and people love these outdoor tracks, and they're great. Like, don't get me wrong, they're awesome. They're the best tracks in the game, bar none. But those sounds are so aggressive. So unless Poboso gives us a way to turn the like actual track environment sounds off, which possible. Like it's just a volume knob somewhere. I don't really know how he's gonna do it. Probably won't do it. But that is the one gripe that I have about film on ARL tracks is that they're super loud with the environment. So that's my only piece that I would say. But is what it is. Like I thought this was really well put together and it looked great.
Yeah, solid edit and definitely enjoyable. You know, no part took me out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it.
He does a great job with his pacing. So solid job, Kleb. All right, this is a new person. 37 subscribers. T-Woo. Yeah, what to expect. 51 seconds. Oh my god. All right.
What'd you see?
Dude, I am so tired of this song being put into edits. But continue.
Bike sounds.
Bike sounds. And it's a new KTM too. This track is sick. That's sick.
Yeah, I love that.
Dude, see, this is why I hate Insta Banger. Like, no resolution to it, man. It's just so short. Okay, I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I know I talked about it before the edit started, but I've heard this song so many times, and it's a great song to put a bike's edit to. Had bike sounds for a little bit. The biggest thing, I don't know what's going on. Like, he's got motion blur on, and I don't know if he's using the native reshade motion blur, but it's like abrasive. There's just too much of it. And
It's like jittery, yeah.
Yeah. But that could also be caused by unstable camera work. So that was my big takeaway from this was the camera work could get cleaned up quite a bit, in my opinion. You know, progressing through the shot, don't just get your shot and then stop. Make sure you follow through with the trajectory of the camera. It helps it look so much cleaner, in my opinion. But yeah, dude, like this doesn't look like RSMB to me. Because RSMB is way smoother. This is native reshade motion blur.
Okay.
And it's really hard to pick up. Like from the just like the general viewer. Like he's on the right path, right? So like a little bit of motion blur goes a long way. But I'm pretty sure this is it's filmed in 60. Okay, so like I don't personally like filming or exporting in 60 frames because it's unnatural to the human eye. So, do you remember when Blu-ray first came out?
Yeah.
And how high that frame rate was? And it looked like super unnatural.
It looks, weird.
Or when you watch like super high frame rate GoPro footage, like it doesn't look, something doesn't look right. That's why. 60 frames per second, while it does look really smooth and you get a lot of information, 30 frames helps that like that little extra bit to make it look as natural as possible. So I export all of my stuff in 30 frames, which if you're
Mm.
going, but I film in 60 frames. So when you go from 60 to 30, you'll get a little bit of motion blur as it reduces those frames. But this is the native motion blur from Reshade, and I think it needs to be turned down just ever so slightly because when you stop and look at stuff, and granted, like we're looking at stop motion, right? Like it's like really, really jarring, specifically for like these really close up shots.
Yeah, when it gets close.
It's just too much.
It's almost like a dreamscape type of
Yeah,
vibe, especially when you
yeah.
break it down, like,
Hmm.
it's, like, super, like, watery, like, I mean, obviously blurry, but yeah, just uncanny a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. That was one thing that I noticed right away, and it can be fixed. I would just turn it down ever so slightly, and it's not that big of a. But yeah, I thought the shots were great. Did he? I don't think he had any bike sound. So that, but again, like this shot right here was super cool. Like I loved the animations. Shout out to Insane, and he's been God's work for us putting together these new animations. I think they worked with a guy called Phantoms, but it just another edit where it just kind of cuts off. I wanted to see more. So keep it up, man. You're on the right track. Do you have anything?
No, no, you hit on, basically everything. I was just gonna say I think you did transitions really well.
Mhm.
Switching from shot to shot felt, really nice, That was my only other comment on this.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't want it to seem like I'm being super critical. 'Cause, like, it's pretty new to the game, so there's nothing that I would be too concerned about here. I would just reduce that motion blur effect that you have on in your reshade, and yeah, go from there. All right, Cloud. So we've seen him before. So called Devin. Another JV track.
Yep.
Ooh, that bike's sick.
Hey, they didn't think I would do it, but I did it. Really having this shit, really winning. Was times that I thought I'd forever be sinning and spinning whatever to stand on the business. But God bless the game, did it all but a sin. All the shots they let off, but they ain't hitting. All the shots we let off, they ain't mentioned was hitting. Go ask why he's fighting them limping. Never change, I'm the same as just in me. The only thing changes the pay for my fee. Can't forget about the diamonds and chains on my pendant was starving, but now we eat steak for a living. If we ever fell out, you was fake or a beat. Niggas quick to switch sides, don't be standing on shit. But yet I'm the biggest, ain't changing my click. Rep to 6, disrespect and get put in that dick. I came up off of rapping, no prices for bricks. $1 million combos.
Man,
Okay.
again.
Yeah. I just have 3 thoughts.
Mhm.
Well, start with the good. I think he has his framing of his shots and reshade dialed.
Mhm.
That's super cool. Minor nitpick is I think we hung on a little too as cool as this bike is, and that's a badass bike. I
Mhm.
think we hung on a little too bit showcasing it. Um, I'd probably get rid of the last shot or that one right there that you just hovered over, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
this is almost half the edit is showcasing the bike.
that's just that's personal preference, but with how he has everything set up, you can see the detail on the gear and stuff. So I
Mhm.
think he's got that dial. That looks great.
Mhm.
The biggest thing I think, as cool as all this is, it goes way back down to basic is the camera work. It just needs a little bit of work, in my opinion. I think it was the first shot where he was kind of like, and maybe it was intentional, but it just looked kind of this right here,
Yeah.
kind of focusing in, and it just didn't look natural. Like if he was trying to do a handy cam thing, I didn't get that feel. It looked kind of like you were in the replay mode, right? Trying to focus on
Yeah.
your rider.
Yeah.
That's what took me out. And then there was a I don't know if you'd call it, well, I mean, this one is a little, I think this is a little zoomed out, kind of a weird angle. I like the whoop setup and the dolly over here. I
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but with how he has the bikes game and everything set up,
Hmm.
it looks like to be a higher quality. And it's kind of a bummer that the camera work just kind of took the wind out of the sails of the whole thing. Not saying that this is bad again. Um, it's just almost a bummer, like I was expecting a little bit better just camera work. I'll jump off this topic, but um, and the last thing was just the editing, kind of faded away again. You know,
Yeah, yeah, man. Like the super short. There's just like no resolution to these short form content stuff, and I don't know. Maybe it's for views. I don't really know. But yeah, I will dive back into that camera work, dude. Like Cloud is a good editor, and he's a good filmer too. But this is bad. Like I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like this is not good camera work at all. Like it's super jittery. It's not. There's ways to make it look like a handy cam footage, and this is not it. But what really sucked is like, so now we get like rider tracking shots, which we've all seen, and it goes into slow mo. Looks great, great, love it. Now we get back to back, awesome, great. Transition from
yeah,
there, okay. Now
that
we're
looks fine, right? That's good.
Yep, that's great. And then we go from this, which is stagnant, stagnant. Okay, go through the whoops, and then all of a sudden, boom, drone cam.
Now
Like,
we're moving. Yeah, like
yeah, like that's not how
yeah,
this would work. Like, if you're, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to film something, but like that just didn't look very natural to me. And then now we're back to handy cam, which is fine. I liked this shot. That was good. And then now we're back again. The transition work is fast. The pacing is fast, but I think he missed the mark on this opening shot and then this shot here. It's just it was not good in my opinion. But the reshade looks great. The kit looks great. He did hold on, like you said, a little long, and then the ending was just I don't know, just a little boring. It just kind of faded off. Oops, excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. I would expect more out of Cloud. Like that's all I'm gonna say. I know he has better potential than this, in my opinion.
well, there was flashes of it too. It just was
Right.
almost kind of a bummer. Okay, it felt rushed, I guess,
Yeah.
almost.
Oh,
He was
100%.
trying to get some content out. Maybe this was a request, right? Or I don't know what the backstory is, but it looks like there was
Seven
so much more
seven
potential. Oh,
dollars?
okay.
$7? Holy cow. Yeah, this is probably just rushed work. I mean, if he's just trying to make a buck, sure. But the problem is like, so like I do a lot of, deals and whatnot for like gear, graphics, what have you. Like I've been very vocal about edits will never be something that I will ever waver on price at all, ever. Just because I know the level of quality that I expect out of myself and what gets posted, I want people to reflect that. I'm pretty good about, pumping out whatever for graphics. Like I can do that fairly quick, but like an edit, dude, it should take you some time. And if you're only charging $7, like I would say like this didn't start off as a $7 edit, and then this hit, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a $7 edit. And then we see more of this, and you see flashes of like, oh, okay, this isn't a $7 edit anymore. And then you see this, and it's like, yeah, this is a $7 edit.
Yeah.
So to me, like, he's probably just pricing himself at a really low point, but I would expect better content out of him. But yeah, I think he just missed the mark there.
Yeah, I
All right.
would agree.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so MXer, our former teammate of ours.
Oh man. I
Getting
didn't know
in,
he was making edits.
yeah, I know, getting into the edit space. This will be our longest one of the night. So, and he did submit this one, so we can be as
Okay.
critical as we want for this.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look.
A narrative waste of patches and light. We grew up in the suburbs and we cut all our size. Now just take a look at the super clear eyes. You're on the friend, the road depends a bit to the right. A couple more miles and I know we'll arrive. The rolling hills and valleys will they'll leave you alive. Now the people crowd our feet to halt the incline. A little bit more else we waste our whole lives. We got here in the dark. We took the long way down. Just to find out in somewhere inside this ancient town. And we talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive. And we talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive. We talked about it all night. Just to throw the planet at the first light. And we thought we'd make it alive. Or at least we'd give it an honest try. A narrative waste of patches and light. We grew up in the suburbs and we cut all our ties. Now just take a look at the super clean eyes. You're on the friend, the road depends a bit to the right. The stones are left here at the beginning of days, and each step that was taken wore a little away. That in of itself, well, it was something
There's
to say.
tears.
A conversation that could last the end of the day. We got here in the dark. We took the long way down. Just to find out in somewhere inside this ancient town. And we talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive. And we talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive. We talked about it all night. Just to throw the planet at the first light. And we thought we'd make it alive. Or at least we'd give it an honest try. And we talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive. And we talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive. We talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive. And we talked about it all night. We thought we'd make it alive.
Among Us backpack. Oh, okay, that was fun.
That was fun. Yeah, I think the song was great. The biggest thing I'll give him a huge kudos for is those three little hits on the chorus. He did really cool transitions with it, and I have a huge respect for that.
Yeah,
Probably could be cleaned up a little bit, but at least there's the thought there that he's trying to go for it. You know,
100%.
I thought that was super cool. I know you're gonna get into this, so I'll set you up a little bit. Um, the track cams that's all it was. So there needs to be some variety. But going back, before we get into the picking apart,
Mm-hmm.
he subject himself to this, but he made
Right.
this fun for what he had and his tools. So I think this was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I don't think this was like he's put out any for edits. One. So this
One.
is
Okay.
This is his second edit that he's put out. So
Okay.
yeah. All right. Let's dive into it. I love the length. 2 minutes 32 seconds. Like that's perfect. You any shorter and it's like could be left a little left to be desired.
Mhm.
I love that it was a team edit. Like there's multiple riders in this, so like dude, it's just so tough that camera work. Oh man. And we kind of talked about this at the top of the show, right? Like new editors, it's kind of a pitfall. And I don't think he's utilizing depth of field. Actually, I know for a fact he's not utilizing depth of field. But one thing that was really hard for kind of stay locked in this edit was the fact that the camera work was super shaky, super like unnatural. So big thing, smooth out your camera work. Set up your shot. You don't have to get it in one take, right? Like rider tracking is great, but there's a way to do it and there's a way to do it right. So what I like to do is kind of set up my shot, get into my position where I know like, all right, this is where I want to film this from. I like this angle. And then I'll progress through that shot on the thumbsticks and then work my way through that a couple of times. And you'll be able to see it almost in real time. And I know I've done this. I did a live stream probably 6-7 months ago where I broke down my entire filming process of how I set it up, how I progress through it, and you know when you have a good shot or not. Like you can physically see it. It's like, all right, that take was good. This felt like a lot of just one takes, which is fine, but I think the camera work could definitely be cleaned up a lot to help this make a better impression. Other than that, depth of field is huge, man. Like play around with it. There's tons of like preset reshades and whatnot. I use cinematic depth of field for all of my stuff because I just in general like it. I think it looks really solid. It's really easy to use. You can start using like mouse driven stuff. So if you want a subject on one side of the screen, and I haven't really touched on it, but I know I touched on it a ton in the first season, the rule of thirds. So this is a pitfall for a lot of new editors is you want your subject to be right smack dab in the center. Doesn't matter. As long as that shot progresses with the subject on either a vertical or a horizontal third, it'll look great. It almost becomes like distracting to always have your subject in the center of your shot. And that's how you clean up your camera work, right? Like keep your subject on one of those third lines. So if you were to split this into 3 equal sections, both up and down, and then right to left, it really helps make your camera work a lot better. Other than that, man, I thought this was really fun. Like he had a bunch of different variety. You know, we got the enduro bikes. He's got a bunch of different locations, a couple different riders. The song fit really well. No bike sounds is tough, but again, not going to give him too much crap for that. This is his second one. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought this was, you know, for somebody that has 2 pieces of work put out, like this is really solid.
No, it's great. The bike sounds is an easy fix, and that'll be forever a huge kudos.
Right.
And I will say his talent pool that he's working with, like the writing is cool. So I think he has, you know, some good quality things to work with to, you know, help perfect the craft if he wants to continue making edits.
Right.
I think some cool stuff can come out of that camp.
Yeah, 100%. And again, like I'm not taking it easy on this guy because we know him. I'm trying to be as critical as possible, but also give him some grace. Like this is his second one that I ever put out. Like, yeah, there's definitely stuff that I could dig into and be really nitty gritty about, but that's not going to help him in the long run, right? Like if I wanted to get super technical, but he's missing on 2 big things. That's camera work and reshade depth of field. Once you clean those up, then we can really start to dive deeper into how to perfect it. So
yeah,
those are the 2 main things that I would work on.
Yeah, if he sees this before next week, you know, he's got some homework.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. All right. Well, we're kind of at the end of the show. Did you want to go through and kind of pick apart the big year 1 project?
Yeah, if you're willing, I'm definitely willing to sit through that. I haven't actually watched that live with you, so
have you not seen it all the way through?
I've seen it all the way through, but we haven't watched it like together. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. All right. All right. Well, anyways, before we get into this, like all the people that submitted stuff, aka just the one guy, MXer, keep working on it. All the people that are making content, like new experience, doesn't matter. Like the whole purpose of this show is to better yourselves and get creative feedback and work on the craft, because it does take a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort, and the only way you can get better is if you actually do it. So yeah, I mean, take everything that we say with a grain of salt. It's all our subjective feedback. This show is not designed to like drag people down. Obviously, you know, there's going to be times where we look at this from a standpoint of like, oh man, like this is going to be really hard to review, but we try to find the good in every piece of content that we watch, and
Yes,
you know,
yes.